Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment of the program brought to you by Madisonville Marine. Repeat business. When you are in between Knoxville and Chattanooga, you need people to drive to you. And you need them to keep coming back to you, boat after boat after boat. For 45 years, Madisonville Marine has offered the selection, the pricing, and the customer service to keep people doing that, coming back. Repeat business. You deal with them once, you'll deal with them again and again and again. There's no better place to buy a boat, folks. Madisonville Marine. Okay, let's talk about what a trip to the College World Series would mean for Tennessee and its fan base long term. I've seen people talking about UT now being a baseball school. And it's like, basketball is pretty good right now. I mean, it's not like it's the Buzz Peterson era around here. So basketball is pretty good. Football is obviously sucky. But here's the thing, in terms of this World Series trip will make us a baseball school. This would be the fourth time you've been to a World Series. You went to 3 College World Series in a 10-year span, 95, 2001, 2005, and all that did was get Rod Delmonico fired. And the attendance didn't explode and become some big thing like Mississippi State, for example, or LSU. So do you see this being the watershed moment that some are making it out to be in terms of one trip changes everything? Or not? Do you look at history and say probably not? Or have the circumstances changed?
To me, it's a wait and see. You still have to prove that. And as you pointed out, Delmonico went to the World Series in, 95, 01, and 05. But he also, in between, during that 10 years, there were some pretty bad Tennessee teams. And I remember Mike Hamilton, when he fired him, he said that he can build a team, not a program. I think Vitello's built a program. Now, the reason I would be optimistic that Vitello could take this momentum going forward is that last year they lost Garrett Crochet, a great pitcher, Alex Solari, a really good player, and then Daniel. All were drafted in the first 5 rounds of the Major League Baseball draft. And they come back this year and they go to a World Series after losing that talent. That makes me believe he's building a program. Therefore, I think he would be able to sustain this.
Another thing that's the difference, just very quickly, between Vitello and Delmonico, and it's one of the things that Mike Hamilton was on Delmonico about, was the fact that Delmonico wasn't he had hired Bruce Pearl. He saw what Bruce Pearl did. Vitello is much more in the Bruce Pearl mode than Rod Delmonico was. So maybe that is a change in the dynamic as well, that you have someone that people will rally around. David.
Yeah, I mean, I think you go to the game last night, and I probably saw 50, 100 Tony Vitello jerseys like in the stands. Like, that's somebody that's obviously fans are rallying around, and a guy that resonates with them, and that is sustainable. There's not, Drew Gilbert jerseys, guys that are going to be gone. I've never seen a Jeremy Pruitt. I've never seen a Jeremy Pruitt jersey at Neyland Stadium. I've never seen a Rick Barnes jersey.
No bald caps.
Yeah.
Were they all that cream color?
Yeah.
That looks so good.
That cream color's great, man.
There were some babushkas every now and then. But I've never seen any Rick Barnes jerseys at Thompson Bowling. He has a unique draw to people, the Bruce Pearl effect, I think, and that's something I think that can sustain over time, because I think fans see themselves and their state and their program in him, and hey, that's what we want to be.
And I'm sitting here, guys. 2005 was a long time ago.
Right.
I mean, and I keep thinking, and David, you're talking about the Tony V jerseys. I really like seeing the mom and dad with the kids, and they're all in Tennessee jerseys. I've seen so many times, and we've talked about it at football games. Mom and dad are wearing orange, and here's a little boy in Alabama's jersey, and here's a girl in a Florida jersey. Yeah. We've lost that whole generation of these kids. This is a big, big moment to get to the College World Series. That's the Mecca, guys. And to get there, well, that shows the trajectory is really going the right way.
Okay. 3 times in 10 years, Delmonico went to the World Series. So my question back to you, and I'm going to force you to answer it. Is this the watershed moment that, okay, it didn't happen last time, but trip to the World Series, this is now a baseball program that people are just going to flock to and love and be around forever?
Well, maybe not to that extent, but it also is going to matter what you do when you get there. What happens if you play for a national championship? That's when you're talking about a watershed moment at the University of Tennessee.
Well, you're seeing more and more people jump on board right now, and people are saying, people jumped on board with the softball team when Monica Abbott had that first great run, and now that's not what it was, that first run. I just wonder, now, I think there's a better chance of it happening this time than it did last time, because he is a guy that people like, as opposed to Delmonico, who was just kind of there. But the other thing is that I'm surprised no one mentioned, football sucks.
Yeah.
I
It's a
mean,
real factor.
football was still good. It was kind of declining, but it was still good in 2001, declined by 2005. But people are more starved, as you said openly, for a winner in that first segment. I think the fact that people are starving may make them more interested in sticking around baseball if you make this one good trip to Omaha.
There's
I think it
something
could
to
be.
that. People are depressed thinking about football right now.
Yeah.
They are. And they want it to be good, but everybody's like, well, if we can just get to 6 wins, I'll feel good about it. And what kind of Tennessee conversation is that? So when you have, hoping for 5 or 6 wins and bracing for 3 or 4 versus a team that might play for a national title, yeah, of course they're gonna gravitate to that. So,
Well, I think it also, Vitello is a guy who's brash, he's energetic, not afraid to talk. His team takes on that personality. They'll chirp. The Sentinel had a story this week about how they don't mind being villains. That's the kind of coach and program that every school wants to follow and hates if it's, it's Florida football. It's what people hated about Florida football and Spurrier. But if you've got it, woo, you love it,
Yep, that's right.
and I think that it's a different dynamic. So I think this could be different than the last time that they had such success on a baseball level.
The big
on
difference
baseball.
to me, and you're talking about the Monica Abbott time, it's not just one guy. It's always, if there's somebody 1 to 9 in that lineup, it seems like there's always somebody picking up a teammate. Somebody strikes out, pops up, somebody coming up next is going to get that key hit. So you've got a lot of really good players instead of just that 1 or 2 great ones.
All right, let me quickly flip it now. Let me give you a worst case scenario. Everybody right now is all fired up and loving it, and it's new day has dawned. I don't see it happening, but if somehow they lose these next 2 games, what's the backlash?
I think these fans give the team a standing ovation, even if that happens.
Yeah,
I've been there in the stands.
Yeah, it's certainly what happens with Rick Barnes.
Well,
You're right.
Well, yeah, but he lost the tournament game. This team has given so many great memories, and that walk-off grand slam in the first round of the NCAA, that'll be talked about for years and years and years. Tennessee fans, I truly believe, even if Tennessee falls short, will give this team a standing ovation and tell them thank you for what you've done.
I don't know about that, Chuck.
I hope it doesn't happen.
Put it on the board.
Here, I want to see the world like Chuck does. I got to go to Chuck Vision.
I don't know about that, Chuck.
Yeah, that Tennessee team that won the SEC and had a great, was number 1 for a month, and then lost in the NCAA tournament, and everybody said it was a wasted year and crap. I think it's going to be more of that kind of
I
response.
don't think everybody said that Grant Williams team is a wasted year in crap.
I'm not going
You
standing
were on Twitter.
ovation, but I'm going to go tip of the cap. I
Yeah.
Oh, I
think
believe-
they'll say,
Yeah.
I appreciate it,
Okay.
and you gave us some fond memories. You gave us a lot to be proud of. So I think they will appreciate the team.
Well, it's
It'll be tougher
But-
if they
but not-
lose because it's LSU. It's a conference opponent. You're gonna have to see them again. If it was Oregon State or something, I don't think fans would care all that much.
I just know when they didn't win the SEC championship tournament, the tournament championship, that the Twitter reaction that I saw was, "Why are you giving this guy a raise? He's just Rick Barnes Part 2. He hadn't won anything yet, Mr. Runner-Up." I think
Really?
that's yes.
Well, those are
Yeah.
Okay, well
knuckleheads.
That's not even 1/10
that's
of 1%.
social media.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
When we come back, let's talk about money and paying this guy and improving the stadium. Come on back.